Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Laura, for those of you that do not know, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of my all-time favorite romance books that I have rated 5 out of 5 stars. And now, I hate to break it to you guys, but my scale for rating things is so messed up. I couldn't even really tell you why I rate certain things 5 stars and certain things not 5 stars. What goes into my thought process when I rate a book is truly just an in-the-moment thing. I could read a book and love the whole story up until 80%, and then the last 20% disappoints me, so I give it 2 stars. But there could also be a book that I hate reading, and then I love the ending and I give it 5. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense. I'll try to go into a little bit of detail for each book into why I gave it 5 stars, so that you guys kind of have more of an understanding of why I loved it so much. But very, very excited to share what those books are with you guys. A lot of them are probably going to be repeats of books you hear me talk about a lot, just because they're my favorites. I would love to do a 5-star prediction video where I show books that I think I'm gonna give 5 stars once I read them. So if you guys want to see that, definitely let me know. I want to go ahead and get started and share with you guys what the books are, but I do want to quickly say a huge thank you to today's sponsor, which is HelloFresh. More on that later. Let's get started with the book recs. Starting off strong, the first book on my list is Wait For You by J. Lynn. Oh my god, you guys, this book is just so fantastic. It's the first book in the Wait For You series, which is a series of companion novels. But this first book, guys, it's magnificent. I love it so much. It's about a girl who moves from a town in Texas to West Virginia for her first year of college. She's leaving behind a lot of baggage in Texas that she just doesn't even want to remember. She wants a fresh start from everything that happened to her in her past, so she winds up at this school, and on the first day of classes, she literally runs into this guy in the hallway, physically bumps into him, and he immediately is really enticed by her. Turns out that they're actually neighbors in an apartment complex, and things just kind of go from there. I absolutely love this book. It's very much good girl, bad boy, very much friends to lovers. Oh my god, the progression of the relationship in this book is just so sweet. I think you're gonna find that a lot of the books on this list are just really cute, college romance books. I don't know why, but they just get me in the feels every single time, and I can't help but rate them 5 stars. So this one is one of my absolute favorites. If you haven't read it yet, I'm literally shocked and you need to go read it right now. The whole series is really, really great, but the first book will always and has always had a special place in my heart. So definitely recommend that one. Next book is A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. Oh my god, you guys, if you know this book, you already get it. You already get it, because this book, it just grabs you by your heartstrings and tugs on them. I can't even tell you how much I cried reading this book. It was the saddest experience of my life. I literally was non-stop teary-eyed for the entire book, chapter 1 through the end. It's actually crazy. But this book is just so good, and I loved it so, so much. It's about a girl and a guy who grow up as next door neighbors, and the guy isn't originally from the United States, and he moves from a different country when he's young, and then when they get to be teenagers, he ends up moving again with his family. The two say that they're gonna keep contact with each other, stay in touch, and they don't. The girl just kind of stops messaging him one day, so when he comes back to town to move back to America, he's totally this different version of him. The girl doesn't even recognize him. She wants a chance to explain, but he's super harsh towards her, really mean to her. So you kind of have a little bit of a enemies to lovers, but sooner or later they do eventually talk, and the story kind of goes. I can't give a ton of details away with this one, so you're just gonna have to trust me if you want something absolutely heart-wrenching. If you want something to literally tear your heart out of your chest, if you're feeling down for that, read this book. I swear to you, it was the saddest book I've ever read, but I love it. I love the story. It was so amazing. I think everybody should read it, but so good. 5 stars. Next on my list is Top Secret by SARINA Bowen and Elle Kennedy. This is the first book that I actually read by SARINA and Elle. They have a lot of books where they've collaborated, especially the Him and Us duology, which I love, and I think I also gave 5 stars, but this book sticks out more to me because I read it first, and the experience of reading this story was just something unlike anything else. I feel that's a big thing that goes into my 5-star ratings. If I'm reading the book just sitting there smiling ear to ear, total opposite of the last book, obviously, but if I'm sitting there literally just giggling to myself, having the best time, I'm this is 5 stars. Even if the book isn't perfect by any means, or I could have had things go differently in certain parts, and it wasn't even just the most well-rounded book, I'll literally give it 5 stars just because it was like such an enjoyable read. The enjoyment that I got from reading this the first time was just so palpable, and I wish I could just reread it again for the first time because it was so fun. This book follows 2 guys who are in the same fraternity, and they end up on the same gay dating app, and they start talking to each other on there, and they don't know that it's each other. And so the story kind of goes from there. They kind of have a rivalry in this fraternity house, but then they're like talking online and really into each other, so it's like very strange. But I love this book. I love this book. If you haven't read this one and you have read Him by ELLE and SARINA, you need to read Top Secret. It was just such a blast. It's literally one of my favorite books, so highly, highly recommend. Another absolute just tearjerker of a book is Underneath the Sycamore Tree by B. Celeste. This book literally made me ugly sob. It's about a girl who has an autoimmune disease, so you can only imagine the direction of this story, but it was just so beautifully written. I absolutely loved the characters in it. The progression of not only her story with her autoimmune disease, but the romance was just so perfectly put together. I absolutely loved this one. So depressingly sad though, like very much Thousand Boy Kisses vibes. Like you'll literally sob yourself to sleep, but I highly recommend it, and I gave it 5 stars. So really, really love this one. Again, it's just one of those books that totally grabs you by the heart and does not let go until you finish the last page. But if you want something like that, I do think it's worth it. I also think that it does a great job of kind of describing what it's like to live with an autoimmune disease, especially because the author has an autoimmune disease, so it's kind of speaking from personal experience in that way. So I think it's definitely worth the read, even if you're like apprehensive about reading something that's absolutely so sad. I think you guys will like it either way. While I'm sitting here really enjoying talking about my #1 favorite book recs, I think it's also a good time to bring up America's #1 meal delivery kit, HelloFresh. Roll the clip. That was good, wasn't it? That was good. So as you guys have already heard, today I am partnering with HelloFresh, which is a really amazing meal delivery kit where you can choose a unique meal plan catered just to you. They have calorie smart, vegetarian, which is what I get, pescatarian, and more. They send you an amazing box packed with fresh, pre-measured ingredients to make delicious meals. So easy, fun, and affordable. Every single recipe is packed with high quality produce, which is sourced directly from farmers, and they send you such easy step-by-step instructions on how to make all of the meals. It's literally impossible to mess it up. They really cut out the stressful meal planning and extensive prepping, so you can just enjoy making a meal in literally 30 minutes or less. This meal took me so quick. It was so easy to put together. For me personally, I really love HelloFresh because I hate thinking of new things to eat every single night, and they just kind of take that step out for me, come up with really fun meal ideas. Especially being vegetarian, I feel like I repeat a lot of the same foods, but with HelloFresh, I have a chance to try new and exciting things that I never would have tried otherwise. I also love that HelloFresh cares about the mark that they make on the environment, and they use almost entirely recyclable materials to ship your food in, and they also set off their carbon emissions by 100%, which I think is really important. So whether it's the sustainability, the time saving, or just the fact that you're getting delicious meals, I feel like there's a reason for everybody to try out HelloFresh. There's truly no reason not to just give it a try. I think that it's something that everybody could benefit from using in their lives. We're all so busy with day-to-day stuff. The literal last thing you need to worry about is what you're going to make for dinner, grocery shopping, etc. And this just takes out all of the hassle and makes it so easy to come home, make yourself a delicious and healthy meal, and just have it together really quickly. So I definitely recommend it for anybody that maybe even is apprehensive about the program, thinks that they won't absolutely love it. Definitely give it a try and let me know what you think, because I think you'll be surprised with the results. So as you guys can see here, I'm plating my final product of the sweet chili tofu bowl. This meal came out so amazing. I could not believe how fast and easy it was to put together. There were so many components to the meal, and yet it took me like 15 to 20 minutes to make in total, which for me is absolutely crazy. Like tofu meals usually take me at least an hour. So I was highly impressed by the time I saved using the HelloFresh meal. It came out absolutely beautiful. The flavors were so amazing. The tofu was cooked perfectly. The rice, the beans, it was just a 10 out of 10 meal. Highly, highly, highly recommend. I absolutely love this. You guys can use my coupon code to get 14 free meals across your first 5 boxes. Go to the link down below to get started. I promise you, you will not regret it. Okay, my next 5-star read, literally one of my favorite books. I'm obsessed with this book. Bad Boys Break Hearts by Michaela Schmelzer. I still don't know how to say her name. I've been talking about her books for over a year. Don't know how to say her name. Bad Boys Break Hearts. Guys, this book, a moment of silence for this book. Literally best enemies to lovers book I've read. Like, oh, literally this book is enemies to lovers excellence in every way. I can't even describe to you how much I love this book and the characters and the story. Like I said, I am an absolute sucker for a fun college romance book that just has like a little like enemies to lovers or a little something just to kind of sweeten the deal. Like, it's my favorite thing ever. I don't know what it is about it. I literally talk about this book like it won a Nobel Prize. Like, I don't know why, but this book is so special to me. I love it so much. If you guys haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. It's also a series. It's like a companion novel series. I have not read the rest of the series. I'm planning to definitely read it. There's 2 books out and there's 2 more coming. Or I guess there's 3 books out, including Bad Boys Break Hearts. So there's 1, 2, 3. 4 and 5 are coming. So really, really cool. If you're into the series thing, you should definitely read all of them. But the first book just holds the most special place in my heart, and I need everybody to read it. So if you haven't read that one, go check it out. Literally 10 stars. Like, it's just my favorite. Next is a recent read from the past year, and that is Tryst 6 Venom by Penelope Douglas. I'm sure if you guys are regular watchers of me, you were expecting me to come in here and say Birthday Girl, which I would, but I feel like I'm getting a little predictable. I don't want to keep saying Birthday Girl because I know everybody already knows that it's kind of like assumed Birthday Girl would be on this list. So I thought, let's throw a little curveball. Tryst 6 Venom. 5 stars by Penelope Douglas. This book was so good. I read this when I was on an airplane earlier this year, and I had 2 flights. I finished the book by the end of the 2nd flight. I could not put it down. It was so good. I was literally like crying on the airplane. I was laughing on the airplane. I was just smiling cheek to cheek on the airplane, just going through it all at 3,000 feet. I highly recommend this book. It's about 2 girls who go to the same school. They're seniors. One of them is like this Miss Popular, gets everything she wants, super rich family kind of thing, and the other girl is like from the wrong side of the tracks, kind of has a bad girl reputation, but they play together on the same sports team and they drive each other mad. So it's kind of like enemies to lovers. It's just so fun. I absolutely love the progression of this relationship, the characters. Oh my god, I absolutely love both of the characters in this book. This book shocked me in a lot of ways. I feel like the characters are a lot more complex than you kind of assume going into the book, and you kind of learn a lot about them and how these 2 girls who seem like they're really polar opposites actually have a lot more in common than you would expect. And yeah, love it. I love this book. It's one of my all-time favorites now. It's up there with Birthday Girl for my favorite Penelope Douglas books, but also Birthday Girl. If you haven't read Birthday Girl, you should read Birthday Girl. But Tryst 6 Venom, super fun read, 5 stars. This next book, it just seems a little pointless to put in the video because I feel like everybody has read this book, especially as of now. The climate we're in with book talk, everybody's read this book, but I thought I would mention it because it is a 5 out of 5 star read for me, and that is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Basically all of Colleen Hoover's books are 5 out of 5 stars for me. Like, if you haven't read like some of her less known stuff like Slammed, Hopeless, Maybe Someday, like read all of those. Like, that's just, read those. But It Ends With Us is a really special story. If you don't know what It Ends With Us is about, I really don't want to spoil it. There's definitely trigger warnings for it, which I'll put in the description box if you want to see them, but I don't want to spoil the story because with me, Colleen Hoover, you just kind of have to read the book and then like you'll figure it out. Like, I kind of hate giving synopsises for her books because they're always just like not what you expect anyway, so it's kind of pointless. But this book is just so phenomenal. That's all you really have to know. I'm so happy that it's getting more recognition now as the years have passed since it came out. Like, that's really exciting. It's back to being literally #1 on all of these lists. So love this book so much. Love that it takes place in my home state of Massachusetts. Fun fact, the launch party when the book came out was actually in Massachusetts, and I went to that. It was really fun. It was really cool. Basically, if you've not read It Ends With Us yet, go read it. If you haven't read some of Colleen's other books, definitely go read those as well. Like, they're all 5 out of 5 stars, but It Ends With Us definitely always will hold a special place in my heart, and I love it so much, so I had to let you guys know. Next book on my list is one that I actually have a little bit of a conflict with. I did give it 5 out of 5 stars when I first read it, but now looking back, I'm a little bit like, I'm not sure. I'd love to hear anybody's opinion if they've read this book also on what they rate it, because I'm just like, I'm having some second thoughts. But the book is called The Italian by SWAN. So this book I read, I remember where I was when I read it. I was laying in my bed in my old apartment. and I didn't move for like 6 hours. I just sat there and read the book. Isn't it weird how sometimes you can like remember the experience of reading a book, where you were, what you were doing? Like I remember exactly how I was like sitting on my bed reading this book. Anyways, so The Italian by H.L. Swan. It's about a girl who goes on a vacation. She meets this guy there, and he and her have this like immediate connection. And she's like planning on going away for 2 more weeks and then coming back to Italy. And they're like, oh, like we'll meet up when I come back from my 2-week vacation. And she comes back and he's not there because something happens. And then they end up meeting each other again later on in life. That's the basic synopsis. When I first read this book, I absolutely was head over heels obsessed with it. I loved the writing style. I loved the way the story progressed. And I immediately was like, I need to read H.L. Swan's other books. So I read Mr. Masters, which I also really loved. And then I read a few of her other books, and I ended up DNFing one of her books a little later on. I don't know how to describe it, but after reading more books from this author, I've kind of realized this interesting like behavior that all of the men in her books have, this almost like internalized misogyny and kind of just like disrespect towards women. And now that I have read more of her books and kind of picked up on it as a pattern, I probably am never going to read any of her other books because it's literally occurred in every book of hers that I've read. But now I look back on The Italian and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars in the moment. But I look back and I'm like, the main character in that book also does this. Like he also has these traits, but like I really loved it when I read it. So now I'm like, if I reread it, would it still be a 5-star read? Like, I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. I remember telling you guys about my experience reading her other book, Our Way, which is one that I DNF'd because I could not stand the characters in that book. Like, it made me angry. And a lot of you guys agree with me. So, curious if you guys have picked up on this with H.L. Swan's male characters. They just literally drive me nuts. So now I'm like, The Italian, like 5 out of 5 stars. Like, I want you guys to read it and let me know, because on one hand, the story was like so addictive, had the most insane ending. It was just so fun to read. But I'm like, a little bit towards the male character now. So I'm like, I don't know how I feel, but for now, 5 stars, but we'll see. Next book on my list is one that is sitting right behind me actually, and that is The Dare by Elle Kennedy. This is the 4th book in the Briar U series, which is the off-campus spin-off series. It's the 4th book and it's the last book. And I love this book because it follows a girl named Taylor, and I personally just related to her a ton. Like, I related to this character on a completely new level than any of the other off-campus girls or Briar U girls. So it just made it kind of a standout in the series for me. But I really loved it. All of her books are like fun college hockey books. I kind of forget like the generalized plot, but it's about a guy and a girl who fall for each other at some point over something. They're all cute. They're just very readable, honestly. But it was more so the characters in this one. I love the male character, but the girl, Taylor, I just remember really relating to her hard when I read this book for the first time. And even still, it like sticks out to me as being one of my favorites from that whole series and spin-off series. So if you have not read the Briar U series, I know so many people that have read Off Campus but not Briar U. It's like equally as good. I highly recommend it. Last book on my list is one that is just my favorite for literally sentimental purposes only, and that is Until the End by Abby Glines. So if you don't know Abby Glines, she has so many series that have so many books in them. This is the final book in her Seabreeze series, which has 9 books and it follows 9 couples. So this is the last book, and the first half of the book follows a couple. The last half of the book is like updates on all of the couples from the previous books. Like they all have a few chapters on their relationships and like things that are going on in their lives. So it's kind of just like the wrap up to this series. And I don't know why, but reading this book for the first time, I literally was sitting there just like crying, like so excited to read the updates about all my favorite characters. So excited to see what was going on in their lives now. Like it just felt like so fun. Like it was almost like a reunion book. I haven't seen a ton of authors do something like that. So to get to read all of these little chapters about the previous people, it was just really exciting, and I love the book for that reason. The Seabreeze series is literally my favorite by Abby Glines. I don't know what it is about that series, but it just holds such a special place in my heart for some reason. Like I read it when I was in high school and it just stuck out so much to me. These books are just like really fast paced, super fun to read. They're definitely not like the best ever. Like if you read them compared to like some other authors that I've recommended, like they really don't compare, but I just love them. It's like the relationship I have with rewatching Jersey Shore every week of my life. Like, do I just keep rewatching it and I know that there's things that are better? Yeah, but like, am I obsessed with it? Yeah, that's how I feel about Seabreeze by Abby Kleins. So until the end, really, really good book. I loved getting to see all of my favorite characters just in one book all together again for one last time. So I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars. So it was just a really fun one. So guys, those are some of my favorite books that I've rated 5 stars. I definitely have more books that I've rated 5 stars. These are just the ones I wanted to share with you guys today. I can totally do a part 2 to this video, or if you're like super curious, you can go and follow me on Goodreads down below. All of my books that I've read since like 2012 are on there, so you can see everything that I've ever rated 5 stars. However, if you do add me as a friend on Goodreads, I think there's a limit that you can only have 5,000 friends, and I've reached it. So you can follow me and you can see what I post, but we can't be friends, which is just, I don't know why they have a limit on that. It's so sad, but you can follow me on Goodreads to stay updated with what I'm reading in current time, or to go stalk my life from, you know, 2014 or whatever you want to do. I want to hear what you guys' favorite 5-star books are. What have you rated 5 stars? I want to hear if we have some that compare, or maybe there's a book you guys rated 5 stars that I literally gave 2 stars. I'm a little bit of a harsh critic, guys. I've rated some books this year really low, and we'll talk about it, but really low. So I want to hear all of you guys' favorite books from the past year, past years in general. 5 out of 5 stars. Let me know. Other than that, thank you again to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. And again, if you haven't checked out the link down below, you can get 14 free meals across 5 boxes using my code. I swear to you guys, I use HelloFresh every single week. I purchase boxes myself and I make the meals every single week because I genuinely love them. And it's like an added bonus that they sponsor my videos and send me boxes too, because I literally eat this stuff every week. I'm obsessed with it. So go check out HelloFresh if you've not already. Thank you again to them for sponsoring. I love you guys. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video and for subscribing, liking the video, leaving your comments. I love you all very, very much. And I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.